And I knew then that this resistance was a dangerous tactic to use if I wanted to avoid being raped. I had the fear that rape would be inevitable if I could not get out of the room, yet I could see no way to immediately leave without it also being a risk to my safety, because I felt he would use force to counteract forceful moves on my part. So I distracted him by pointing out the box of chocolates on the conference table. And he poured it into a wine or brandy glass, after which, taking a sip, he pushed it to my lips as he cornered me with a big seduction smile. I don't drink. I'm allergic to alcohol. I did enough in college anyway. I pushed it away, saying, I do not drink liquor because allergies. And he insisted, saying, come on, just taste it, and pushed it into my lips again, whereby I ended up sipping some. He then forced an open-mouth kiss on me, who was cornered by him, sticking his tongue into my mouth to French kiss me. I pushed back and said, stop it, you're being way too frisky. And I was distressed and shocked and terrified. You know, when he did the glass, then he put it into my hand. I'm holding it there like, okay, distraction, like we'll do the, you know. And then he had picked up a second glass. I was distressed, shocked, and terrified. He laughed, clearly enjoying himself at the expense of my discomfort, refusal, and fear. This was ever more disturbing and frightening to me, as I saw he was determined to have a sexual act with me. At this time, he had been pressing his body up against mine, holding me tightly. And I was not certain if his robe was open or closed in the front. It seemed part way open, like the robes are small, he's rotund, you know. And I did not want to look down to see. I could feel what seemed to be an erection from him, lest he be further encouraged and aroused by seeing me look down, and I did not want to look anyway as he repulsed me. It seems that this business of ordering up a massage therapist at a hotel and then seducing her or forcing his physical attentions on her, such as sexually assaulting her, seemed to be a well-rehearsed routine for Gore. That I am licensed by the state of Oregon as a professional therapeutic body worker and had made that explicitly clear to him in the very beginning of the session did not even seem to matter with him or even register as noteworthy to him. This made the situation even more clearly frightening. It was very clear to me that I was not the first woman he had sexually assaulted, and that clearly no was not a word he heard or cared about or respected. There was the hotel room treat box, the kind of thing, usually a basket that holds chips, cookies, teas, chocolates, etc. you commonly see in hotel rooms. And he said that the hotel had put condoms in it. He held up a small plastic case at me, and I was getting more deeply distressed by all this, and all I could think to say was to dispute that it was condoms. I just found this unbelievable because I didn't know that these were in the treat boxes. I probably stay in Motel 6s. They don't have these things. And I didn't have my glasses on, so it looked like one of those little plastic sewing kits to me. So the first thing I blurted out, I said, "It's a sewing kit." And I was trying to pack things from across the room, and it looked like one from that vantage point, and I was trying to distract him. So he demanded that I come over to the box to see. I'm nearsighted, I don't wear contacts, so I couldn't see it clearly, and I was taken aback that was all I could say in the moment. I continued packing instead, and this sounds like this is going a long time. It's not. Does this make sense? You get a sense of the time worked? Because this sounds like this is just like hours, like moving a house, and it's not. And then when I got to the table where the treat box was, because I had to walk to grab some stuff because I'm almost out of here. All I could think of was to get the stuff and look normal and walk out. Because if I looked anything other than normal, I was afraid I was going to get grabbed, pinned down or something. I was in shock. I was really afraid of his temper. Then I asked him I said, how do you rectify this with your wife? Thinking this would cause him some remorse and mellowing, to which he angrily bellowed instead. Quick shift of mood again, which frightened me anymore. I never saw anybody's moods just go like this. It made me go, this man should never be in charge of the red button. It was really scary. His mood, he bellowed. He goes, I wasn't going to do anything! I mean, just screaming. more deeply frightened by his temper and the way he was suddenly stalking around like a dog with hackles up on his back, I started backpedaling with something well, everyone's relationship or marriage is a private affair. No one really knows for absolute certainty what is the true arrangement that was private with Bill and Hillary, for example, anyway, and that part's nobody's business, but they're all... I'm trying to fix things. I realized later, this is just a side, I really stepped in it because the talk about Bill and Hillary is like a sore point with this guy, and I didn't know, so he's just like, "Rah!" And I'm like, "Ah!" You know, really freaked out. He seemed even angry at that point. To me, with like terror and question marks, like, now what'd I say? I did not know what to do and grasp for something. I laugh about it now a little bit because I have some distance, but if I really have to get in here, this is why I'm reading it, because if I tell it, it's harder. I did not know what to do, and I grasped for something else to say to distract him away from that incendiary point. I was still, and again he approached me and he grasped me and gave me a big tongue kiss. At this point I was even more afraid of him physically, and I tried again hard to squirm away. He grabbed at my right camisole bra strap under and through the armhole of my sleeveless sweater and roughly tried to pull it down off me in an attempt to disrobe me, saying, "What's this?" I broke away from him and firmly, with even more distress again, said loudly, "Stop it!" And disturbingly, he giggled some more. He's getting off on it. All I could think of, the song was "Dear Mr. President" by Pink. He said it was written to protest the current administration and that it has been or was going to be chosen to accompany some presentation of his or a film, as were some other songs chosen by Melissa Etheridge. As soon as he had it playing, he turned to me and he immediately flipped me flat on my back and threw his whole body face down over atop me, pinning me down and outweighing me by quite a bit. "Get off me, you big lummox," I loudly protested to him, and I struggled with my whole body to shove him as hard as I could to roll him off me and get out from underneath him, and using my whole left leg and stuff, and that's where I strained all the muscles, but I didn't realize it at the time. He just giggled and acted like I was only teasing him, and I had to physically struggle and wrench around to throw him off my body so I could stop being squashed and breathe again. I could not even breathe with him crushing me and my chest like that. I started to sit up, and he tightly grasped my right wrist and hand, and we lay on our sides a couple feet apart looking at each other as he played the song, him singing along with it as if he were revealing deep feelings like some bizarre karaoke, and me stuck there staring at this unpredictable predator, wondering how to get loose and get away. I was terrified to struggle further because I felt like he would then force himself on top of me again. I did not know what to do next. I was just shocked at his craziness. I forced a smile, and I just asked him with a quiet, sympathetic tone in my voice at that point. I just said, how long were you whacked out after the election? I just got to the point where I was like, to which he replied, 6.5 years so far, just giggling his head off, and then he went on singing to me.